Live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, as I titled this video, this game went as expected. I think we all kind of expected the Lakers to kind of get steamrolled there. I talked about it in my breakdown video over on More As It Stands Lakers. Is that to me, I wasn't really necessarily looking at the win or loss. I was more looking at the individual players, right? Find some gems in some of our young guys. Thought that this was a good game and a good opportunity to play several young guys, especially, guys like Kobe Buffkin, Bronny James. Were we going to get to see Adou Thiero? He's just coming back, and we did. And I want to break down some of the young guys. Again, it's hard. Not really much to say either way because, again, you didn't have any of your key guys. You didn't have, you kind of expected them to get steamrolled. Jake shot, as far as like the veteran guys go, I don't want to spend too much. I want to talk and break down kind of the young guys before we get into all the super chat questions, all the regular chat questions. But, Laravia, he fouled out in 18 minutes. That's not good. But he actually had a better game shooting the basketball. Hopefully that's something that can kind of be a trend. Rui struggled mightily. Just forcing shots, right? I felt like Rui was trying to do too much rather than just stay within the game. Jackson Hayes, I thought was solid this game. Luke Kennard, I thought was solid this game. He really showed a lot of just nice things and his ability to kind of, run an offense at times and initiate and get you into your actions. Kleba, I thought, again, gave you some solid minutes. Vando gave you, some solid minutes. Again, the role guys, you're not really expecting too much. But, really, again, going into this game, I was looking more into the young guys, right? I wanted to see, obviously Kobe Buffkin. This was his debut. What was he going to do? And, he struggled. But I thought you did see a couple nice things from him. I thought early on he was doing too much, right? And I understand, like, you don't have everybody out there. So, like, you're trying to come in and show, like, hey, I can hoop type thing. You're trying to come in and, and be the savior and go like, dude, I'm putting up 40 but, I felt like he was kind of trying to force the issue a little bit rather than just kind of, again, you're not going to, at least right now, maybe at some point as you continue to develop and work on your skills, at some point, you're going to need to show the role that you're capable of playing alongside Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, and then in a post-LeBron era alongside Luka and Austin Reeves. And I thought he had a couple nice moments, some defense sequences, some nice hustle sequences, things like that. He showed the ability to get to his spots and create his shot, which is good, right? His ability to do so. But, again, there's a difference between being able to get to your spots and elevate and knocking down shots and then just kind of forcing the issue, play within the scheme of things. Nick Smith Jr., I thought, did the same thing this game. Nick Smith Jr., again, he didn't have a great game either. And a lot of it to me was just him and Kobe Buffkin, who are both, 22. They're both very young. I felt like they were trying to show like, hey, we can, do this, that, and the other, right? Now, Nick Smith Jr., he's somebody that, you're not looking for him to initiate running out. Like, you're looking for him to be that sixth man, right? You're looking for him to be that bucket getter, be aggressive, but it's also, not just about being aggressive. It's knowing when to be aggressive and when to play within things. And I thought he was trying to do a little too much. Where Kobe Buffkin, right, I wanted to see him more kind of obviously be a scorer and aggressive, but I wanted to see him kind of be able to show like, hey, I can get us into actions. I can initiate. I can defend, things like that. Obviously, again, when you're playing alongside Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, he's not going to be playing a role anything close to what we saw tonight. But still, it's like when you do have those opportunities, you do have those moments, it's not so much about like, hey, I can score the basketball. It's, I wanted Buffkin to play the way Bronny did. Bronny, I thought, was great tonight. He got to his spots. He was selective in his aggression. He hit some threes, he hit some shots, he was able to self-create, he was able to do some things out there on the basketball court, which I really liked. He's 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from three-point range, but he had 6 assists, right? He had 3 rebounds. He had 2 turnovers, but took care of the basketball for the most part, gave you 12 points, a 12-6 game, right? Bronny, I thought, was very good defensively. I thought he was very good offensively. Again, that's kind of what I wanted to see. Like, Bronny went out there and he was in control. Right? He wasn't trying to force the issue too much. He was playing within, trying to get guys going, trying to hit his shots, picking and choosing. That's kind of what I wanted to see from Nick Smith Jr. as well as Kobe Buffkin. Bronny, to his credit, I thought did a phenomenal job at just showing, like, hey, even with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, I can bring the ball up, I can initiate, I can get us into our actions, I can run some sets, right? But I can also knock down the shot. I can also be aggressive when I need be. I can kind of read and react. I thought that Bronny did a really good job of that, and I really wanted to see that. Obviously from him, but I wanted to see that also from Kobe Buffkin as well as Nick Smith Jr. And I just felt like we didn't get that from those two guys. Drew Timme, thought was great again. He's very fundamentally sound. He's very skilled. Obviously the free throws, going 50% free throw line, that's not good. But outside of that, again, was just being able to get to his spots, knock down the open three. He's somebody that, again, I'd like to keep around. Connect, I didn't think had a bad game. He didn't settle, which is good, but still struggling to knock down the 3 ball, which is what we need to see from him. But 9 points, 5 rebounds, right? Like, he rebound well, knocked down a couple shots, kind of got to his spots too, which was good. But the 2 guys that I really want to talk about, and they played limited minutes, but they were our 2 best plus minus guys, and rightfully so. I mean, they were both really good. And that was Adou Thiero and Chris Minion, right? I am disappointed that we have not really gotten to see Minion play consistent, like, even in just like spots, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to play him every game, every night, or whatnot, but like, we haven't seen him at all except for garbage time. And then you finally play him 7 minutes and he was great, right? Again, he didn't take a shot, but you saw the hustle, the grit, him and Adou Thiero out there just swarming and diving for loose ball. It's the dirty work, right? Like, you're not somebody like a Chris Mignon. You're not looking for him to come in and be a 20-point a game guy. You're not looking for him to come in and be that aggressive offensive player. You're looking for him to come in and do exactly what you saw him do. Defend at a high level, be aggressive, be that, point of attack, hustle, do the dirty work, dive for loose balls, get rebounds, do those things. And he did, in limited minutes. I thought he was great in the limited minutes we saw. And you see his athleticism and his speed and all that stuff. And I'm just like, man, this is somebody that we could really use. This is somebody that we really need. And then Adou Thiero, I mean, he's huge, pause, right? Like, he's got such like stature to him. Like, he's just such a big guy, but he's also hyper athletic. I mean, when he was doing the jump ball with him and Bismack Biyombo, like, Thiero looked bigger. Like, I was like Thero's big, man. I'm like, this is crazy, right? And the explosiveness and athleticism, but it's the dirty work. Right? He's getting on the ground, diving for loose balls. He's getting rebounds. He's getting steals. He's getting deflections, right? He's saving the ball out of bounds and stuff, right? Like, it's those kind of things that you just see the work and the hustle, right? Again, you're not looking for Adou Thiero to come in and be a 20-point a game scorer. You're looking for him to come in, at least right now. Obviously, as he progresses, it'd be nice if he could, develop that 3-point shot. And, it hasn't really taken a 3. I think he's only taken 1 3 this season. But, like, develop that 3-point shot, develop that ability to put the ball on the deck and score the basketball. You can tell he just doesn't quite look comfortable. And I don't know if that's, he needs to work on it, or if that's just like, hey, I don't want to play with outside of my box right now. I want to stay within my frame, so to speak. But he's somebody that, again, I've said it since the offseason. You know what this Lakers team could really use? Another Jared Vanderbilt, right? Adou Thiero is a bigger, stronger, more athletic Jared Vanderbilt, right? Like, I mean, and again, I'm not expecting him to play 30 minutes a night, but like, even just a consistent 10 minutes where like, you have Vando and then you have Thiero, right? Or even at times play both of them. Right? Like, I'd really like to kind of see the Lakers lean into just some of those young guys a little more. Obviously, once you get to the playoffs, unless, one or multiple of those guys are just, ridiculous. Once you get to the playoffs, okay, if you want to tighten your rotation and stuff like that, that's fine. But for the most part, you should be, it's a long season still. Let some of these guys get some reps. Let some of these guys get some minutes. But anyway, let's get into all these super chat questions, the regular chat questions, all that stuff. Real quick, hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. And let's get in it. The title perfectly sums this up. Yeah, exactly as expected. This is one blowout loss. I'm not mad at for once. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it kind of was expected. I was more looking at the young guys, like what could they produce? What could they bring tonight? I mean, Victor Wembanyama, Lakers would have been winning like at halftime if it wasn't for Wemby. Wemby had like 37 of like their 55 points. Like if you take away Wemby's points, Lakers actually were in it. It was actually competitive, but Wemby's just, he's ridiculous. I mean, he was. If Wemby wasn't in this game, it might have actually been a lot more competitive. But I mean, that dude is ridiculous, right? What was he plus minus wise? He had to have been something insane. What was he? He was a plus 22. That's actually not as high as I thought it would be. De'Aaron Fox was a plus 30. Dylan Harper was a plus 27. I actually thought Wemby would have been a little higher than that. I thought he would have been in that like plus 30 range. But nonetheless, like I said, to me, it's more about just getting the role players some reps, right? Like I said, Jake LaRavia, you saw him knocking down some shots. Hopefully that's something that can carry over and translate. And then just giving some of the young guys some run. I got a few things to say. Firstly, Victor is not real. Dude, that guy's ridiculous. I liked what I saw from Adou. Bronny needs to be more aggressive on offense. Great example tonight when he is aggressive. Yeah, but like I said, I liked, obviously you want him to be more in attack mode, but I like that he kind of picked his spots at times, right? Like, to me, it was more like the role he played tonight and the way he played tonight, you could see him playing every night off the bench in that backup guard role, right? Like, I would have loved for him to go out and drop 30 and quiet some of the Bronny haters and stuff like that. But like, to me, again, it's like, I want, like, what you do, can that be replicated, in a game where we're healthy, right? Like Bronny, like everything Bronny did tonight, I could see him doing when healthy, when we're fully healthy on a nightly basis, right? Like he didn't do anything that was like, wow, dude, this guy's going to be the next great superstar. But he did everything you want. Again, I've talked about, like, defensively, he's fantastic. Being that aggressor, using his athleticism. He still has work to do on that side. I've talked about it before. He's too reliant on his athleticism at times. Kind of, instead of using the athleticism to his advantage to be able to stay in front of guys and shift and all that stuff, you'll see him at times kind of like give too much of a driving lane or things like that. But because he knows, I can just get back and recover, right? Like it's things like that. But I would have liked to see Bronny be a little more aggressive. He took 10 shots. If he would have taken, 15, but I thought he played a really nice all around game. Like genuinely, I thought he showed the playmaking ability. He showed the defensive ability. He showed the, lead guard initiating ability. He showed, that he can run an offense. He showed that he can take care of the basketball. He showed that he can also hit shots, right? Like I thought that was a really well-rounded game from Bronny James. I was more impressed with him than probably anybody tonight. Like he really did, I thought, a really good job. But Cosmo, coming out the final street, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Seriously. Not going to lie. I dissociated from the game and took points off the Spurs so we'd be in the game. I knew the score Wemby got every call too. It is what it is. I mean, like I said, if you take off Wemby's points, this game was very competitive, right? Like if you take off Wemby's, I mean, like I said, at like halftime, this game, Lakers are like, what would have been down like 2 or something like that had you taken off Wemby's points. I mean, you take Wemby out of the game, 40 points, the Lakers win this game, right? Like, but it's just, again, I mean, Wemby, he's ridiculous. We didn't have anybody that could even slow him down or anything like that. At least Ayton, say what you want about him and his motor and stuff like that. He's got good size, right? So he can at least, like, he's not getting, like, Wemby was just kind of getting around everybody and just pushing everyone out the way. Everyone was too little. Like, Ayton, at least, he's not going to get pushed as much. I mean, Wemby does it to everybody. So Ayton would have gotten pushed to an extent, but not like what we saw, right? Like, and then plus you would add like LeBron, to be able to help, and his physicality and his size and strength and stuff. And even Luka, this game would have been different. I'm not saying the Lakers would have necessarily won this game, because, I mean, Spurs are good enough to beat us even fully healthy, but I think it would have been a very different game. But I thought that this was a good opportunity for the young guys. Right. And it was good because we got to see him against one of the best teams in basketball, one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Right. Like, and how were some of these young guys able to stack up? Right. Some guys, you're kind of like, obviously one game, you can't tell everything, but it's like, okay, like I said, Bronny was really good. And I mean, it wasn't, he just played garbage time. Like, no, he played throughout the game. It was good throughout the game. It was something that I thought was really nice, but yeah, I feel you, Cosman. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for Super Chat again. Thank you. All right, let's get back to the regular chat. So some more trickle in. Oh, shoot. I lost my spot. Okay, here we go. Back. My biggest takeaway is that Adou and Minion deserve minutes from now on. When they subbed in, we were hustling. I ain't stressing this game, though. Thankfully, they don't bench everyone against the Thunder on Thursday. Yeah. Hopefully everyone's playing. Luka may play, they were saying. He may play that game against the Dallas Mavericks. I imagine he'd want to play against the Dallas Mavericks, but again, like, the problem is, like, okay, you put, I understand from JJ's perspective. It's like, okay, if I play Minion and I play Thiero, who am I playing them over? Right. That's the question. Like, you're not playing them over Smart. You're not playing them over, Jake, Vando, like guys like that. But to me, it's more of like picking and choosing your spots with them. Right. Like, I'm not necessarily looking for them to come in and play 15, 20 minutes. Right. But like, even playing 10 minutes a night for Minion and or Mignon, and then 10 minutes a night for Thiero, where you're kind of like spotting them in areas, right? It's like, hey, let's and like, you're not playing them over anybody, but you're trying to like kind of cut guys down, right? Like you maybe take a minute from Rui, take a minute from, obviously if we're killing it and guys are just dominating, then you leave it. But like nights where it's like, hey man, we could use a little juice here, right? That's where I'd kind of like, hey, let's go with Minion. Let's go with Thiero. Thiero's the one, like Mignon, like I want to see more throughout the season, and I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen him much throughout the season. But I understand, like, if you don't want to play him much this season, okay, like I get that. It's because, again, it's like, who are you playing him over, right? And he 6'4", 6'5", so he's somebody that again, like I'm okay with if JJ doesn't play him much this season, if at all. I personally would like to see it. Thiero's the one that I'm like, you really got to find minutes for, because he's just so, again, he's big, he's physical, he's strong, and he's athletic, and he hustles and he works. And again, I'm not saying you have to play him 25, 30 minutes, but you got to play him, at least ideally 10 to 15 minutes, right? Like I said, if you're just kind of, taking a minute from Laravia, taking a minute from Vando, taking a minute from Marcus, taking a minute from, kind of taking a minute from several guys and kind of giving it to Thiero, that's kind of where I would look at. It was looking good. like Wemby was going for 100 in the beginning. Yeah, or it was looking like Wemby was going for 100 in the beginning. I don't know where I got good from. Yeah, he uh he would have broken the record or not the record, but like this season, James Harden had 27 in a game this year. That was the most points scored in a quarter. Luka, I think, has had 25, I think, in a quarter. I was kind of disappointed that like they took him out. Like he got 25 and it was like there's still like 3 minutes left. It's like, why not just at least let it like run an action for him to get a three? You know, just let him get a three and just see if he breaks the record. If he doesn't, then fine, take him out. Right. You know what I mean? Like also Kobe needs a few reps, but I think he'll be a nice W. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to put too much on Kobe this game. Right. He came in and immediately was asked to basically be the best player on the court tonight, right? Like, again, it's his first game. I'm sure there's butterflies. I'm sure there's jitters. I'm sure there's, you know, just the adrenaline and whatnot. Like I said, he was trying to do a little too much. He's the role he's going to be asked to play is nothing close to what he did tonight, right? He's going to be looked to be that knockdown. Can you knock down the three ball with consistency? And can you defend at a high level, win the 50-50 balls, right? Like him doing the dirty work, him making the hustle plays, him playing defense at a high level. That's where he's going to earn his spot. That's where he's going to earn his minutes and his role and all of that. So the Tyler curse is back. I don't know if we can call that yet. We're still in the green. A win as well. It went as we all saw it going, but I don't like the Adou minutes just to give a few logic. Like again, I'd like them consistent, add some consistency. I would have liked them both sprinkled in early on, right? Rather than like, okay, it's the end of the game. Let's like as soon as we were down like 30 in the second quarter, that's it. If I'm JJ, everybody's sitting the rest of the night and I'm just running the young guys, right? Like, to me, it's just obviously you want guys to get reps and stuff like that and whatnot. But like, to me, I would have just, as soon as we went down 30, cause you got to at least try, right? Like, so you start the game, you play the game, you try, you see if, you have a shot. As soon as you're, or whatever it was, 22 or whatever, and they're just getting everything they want and you're just getting ran through, right? And it's like, it's clearly not a competitive game. As soon as that happened, I'm calling a timeout and I'm pulling everybody out. And I'm just running just the young guys. Buffkin, Nick Smith Jr., Drew Timmy, right? Chris Minion, Adou Thiero, Bronny James. Like, I'm those, like, whatever, 8 guys or whatever that we have that are just young, like, those guys are just going. Everyone else is getting the night off the rest of the way. Everyone else is getting a little bit of a break. Everyone's going to get a little bit of a breather so we can go win this Dallas game. Why did they have guards switching on Wemby? That's my only complaint. Plus, the players don't look around to see who's cutting on fast breaks. Yeah, I mean, the communication was terrible. I mean, they were switching on him, right? Like, they Wemby and them, they kept switching on him. I mean, you could have asked, Hayes or somebody like that to like fight through that. But at that point, it's already too late, right? Like you're hoping to just stay in front of them, right? Like, they should give Bronny James some consistent minutes here and there. He's pretty good. Look, I've been preaching Bronny. Again, I've said it a million times. If his name wasn't Bronny James, everybody would be talking about how Lakers might have a gem and oh my gosh and all that stuff. But because his name is Bronny James and people have, hate and spite for the guy behind me, right? Like, people want to talk about him being a bum. He's the youngest guy on the team, right? Like, the kid has been good, right? Like, he's somebody that's been good, right? Like, he's not a superstar. He probably won't ever be a super, but not everybody has to be. Like, sometimes you just need those role guys. Like, if Bronny just gave us what he gave us tonight on a consistent basis, that's perfect. Plays good defense, initiates the offense, gets a couple assists, grabs a couple boards, knocks down a couple shots. right? Like the what he did tonight is all we need from Bronny James. You need role players. You have Luka, you have Austin Reeves at some point, right? If those are the two guys you have long term, then you need guys like Bronny James around them. I mean, hell, Bronny James, if he can evolve a consistent offensive game, because I've said it, even watch this game. The shots that he missed, he just missed. He got to his spots. He's been really good this year at getting to his spots offensively. He just hasn't really quite found the touch consistently. Once he finds that touch, he's going to be tough, man. He's going to be good. Right? Like, he's got the defense, he's got the athleticism, he's got his dad's vision, he makes good reads. Right? Like, he just, again's got to work on the consistency on the offensive side. But he's 21 years old, right? Like, if we drafted him this year and he was playing the way that he's playing, everyone would be talking about how we got the steal of the draft and watch out and this guy's going to be a superstar and all that stuff. But again, because he's Bron's kid, everyone's like, he's trash, he's garbage, get him off my team. He's a good basketball player. Like, he's good, right? Like, again, he's not great yet. He's probably about a year or two away from being like a legit rotation player. But like, is he a guy that could probably play on, Marcus Smart gets the night off and it's like, hey, we could use some, defensive guard. Like, yeah, sure. Right. Like, but like, to be like, hey, this is the guy coming off the bench and being our lead guard off the bench, like basically playing the Gabe role that we wanted. I think he's about a year or two away. Right. But like, that's fine. Again, so let's say 2 years from now, he's 23 years old. Right. Like, he's not 30. Right? He's 23 years old. He's as young as Dalton Connect when we drafted him. Right. Bronny James had a nice game. He did. He really did. Yes, please. Also, I'd really appreciate everyone going and subscribing to the NBA channel as well. Trying to grow that. Need to get that up and running. I really want Adou Thiero to develop into our starting three eventually. I could see that. Our starting 3 or 4. I mean, he has the tools. I mean, he's big, he's stocky, he's athletic, he's got the defensive side of things, right? Like, it's just, will he develop an offensive game? The thing is, we don't know either way, right? So far, like, he's been limited minutes. Lakers have been, overly cautious with him, which rightfully so. He's a rookie. The reason the Lakers were able to draft him was because he was hurt. He was, as high as like a top 15 pick in the draft at one point. And then he got hurt and all that stuff. And, and then plus you add in, he's a little old. He's not like 18 to where a team might take a flyer on him. So he kind of just fell and the Lakers were able to snatch him up. Bare minimum, I think at worst, he's like another Vando, right? Like just a bigger, more athletic Vando, which better, let me put it like he'd be a better finishing Vanderbilt. Right? Like, which is fine. Right? Like, if Adou Thiero, let's say his cap is just Vando, but bigger, stronger, and more athletic and finishes better. Look how impactful Vando can be at times. If he's just like a guy, but obviously you want him to develop some offensive consistency. My point is like Adou Thiero's floor, I think, is good enough to be just a real player on this roster. Right. His ceiling, sky's the limit for him. He's so young and we don't really have much to go off of. But just what we've seen, like him, just his hustle is great, his athleticism, his size, all that stuff. Bare minimum, I just see him being like at worst, another Vanderbilt. But yeah, I'm sorry. Why in the world did we get Buffkin? Like, seriously, dude, we used our last spot on. Well, they still could bring somebody else in and we could have had Haywood. I know it's one game, but my goodness, he was awful. I wouldn't say he was awful. Again, he just kind of forced stuff, right? Like you saw some of the bright spots, you saw some of the good needs, his ability to, get his shot off, his ability to, knock down the three, his ability to initiate when he was looking to initiate the defensive side of the ball. He made some nice hustle plays. He dove after some balls. He had that play where he was able to get the tie up and stuff like there were things there. They're like, okay, again, you got to keep in mind, Kobe Buffkin's not going to be playing that type of role when we're healthy. You're looking for him to be that athletic injection that's doing the dirty work, make the hustle plays. Like, I can't really judge him on, Even if he dropped 40 this game, I still would have came on here and been like, dude, that was phenomenal. Great for him. But, you know, what are the things that he did that make sense alongside LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, right? Like if he just dropped 40 and did nothing else, right? Like he just had like a hot night and shot the lights out, but like he didn't do the scrap plays and he didn't get the tie-ups and he wasn't like, playing defense, stuff like that. I would have been more disappointed in that than, hit this game, right? Like, again, I don't want to get too much on him. Also, the other thing too is JJ Redick said, that, one of the big reasons they brought in Bufkin, one, they were worried about somebody coming in and snatching him, which would have been a real concern. And again, if that would have happened and he balls out for like Memphis or something like that, guess what everyone's saying? Oh my God, Rob's an idiot. Why didn't you go and get Kobe Bufkin? Look at what he's doing. Oh no. Like I said, it's a catch-22, right? They signed Bufkin. Oh, what are we doing? We need a veteran guy. You don't sign Bufkin and he goes elsewhere and he balls out because he's killing in the G League and somebody's probably snatching him up. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, why did you go get him? And not just that, but JJ said, you need to make sure guys are healthy and they can play. I mean, that sounds like Haywood Highsmith to me. That sounds like Matisse Thybulle to me. Like I would imagine the Lakers probably did their due diligence on Haywood Highsmith. Again, he hasn't played this year and teams aren't running in the door to go get him, right? Like those are all things to keep in mind. It's easy to go like, oh man, they should have went and signed this guy. But and JJ's right. Like he even said in the thing where he's like, like very rarely do buyout guys make a difference on a playoff run or in the playoffs. Right. And he's not wrong. Like Haywood Highsmith is just like, his defense and shooting and stuff like that could be great, but he's also a Miami player, right? And the Lakers have not had a great history with Miami player. Plus he's injured. Plus, there's just a lot of risks where it's just like Kobe Bufkin, there's no risks. Best ability is availability. And Kobe Bufkin's available. And, if you like him, then why not bring him in? Feel like Adou Thiero, feel like Adou looked good. Yes. I mean, he did. He looked really good. Obviously, again, limited run, limited sample size. But I mean, he has, again, if you were to make a checklist of the ideal kind of player that you want alongside Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, or, Luka and Austin Reeves long term, Adou Thiero checks off all those boxes. Young, athletic, big, physical, right? Like, man. But hey, glad Adou is back. I wish he got a little more playing time, but he's so freaking athletic, bro. Seriously. Hopefully he actually gets to play more and not just sit on the bench. I hope he does too. I mean, he just came back and Lakers have been cautious with LeBron and Luka and Austin Reeves and basically everybody that's came back. So I wanted him to play, but I didn't expect him to play 20 minutes tonight. It would have been nice to maybe give him, he played just a hair under 10 minutes. It would have been nice to maybe give him, something, I don't know, 15, right? But I'm okay with 10 minutes. His first game back, right? Like I said, if you can give him in that 10 to 12 minute range on a regular basis, that would be great. That would be pretty great. Bufkin was pretty bad tonight. He was forcing so much. Hopefully, when he plays with the main guys, he'll look a bit better off ball. I mean, again, he was trying to do too much, which I get. You're nervous, you're excited, you're dealing with the 50 million emotions, right? But I thought he had some nice sequences. I thought he showed some of the grit that you wanted to see in some areas and his ability to knock down the three ball. Obviously, I want to be fair to him. You know what I mean? I don't want to judge him on, one game, and two, I don't want to judge him on a role that he's not going to play and without the guys that he would play off of that would make him look good, right? Like him moving without the basketball, being a slasher and cutter, being hit, with a LeBron pass or Luka pass or Reeves pass, something like that, and finishing at the those are the kind of things that I want to look for. So I want to be fair to him. I don't want to, if you just want to base this one game off of what he may or may not do, then yeah, he was terrible. But again, it's one game. Not everybody's going to be a superstar overnight. He's 22 years old. Give the kid time. like I said, like I did in the breakdown video when we signed him, right? He's going to have good nights and bad nights, regardless. Right? I mean, look at Jake LaRavia, 23 years old, right? Like young guys, that's what you get, right? Like you're going to get games where you're just like, oh man. It's why a lot of coaches don't like to play young guys. It's why a lot of coaches don't like to play rookies or second year players or whatever, because coaches know you're going to have to take the bad with the good. There's going to be nights where, Kobe Buffkin, even Adou Thiero, there's going to be nights where we're just like, dude, this guy is the best player on the team. Like, oh my God, right? Like we got a superstar in the making. And then there's going to be nights where it's like, oh man, Lakers shouldn't have drafted. Like we could have gotten this other guy, right? Like that's how it goes. It's part of the young guys. I thought Rui was about to drop 50. I mean, he did not have a great game, that's for sure. Don't forget to hit that like button if you appreciate Tyler showing up, win or lose. Yes, thank you so much, Bluck. I really appreciate that. Yes, if you can, please take a second, hit that like button for me, hit that subscribe button for me. You guys are beautiful. Adou needs more minutes. Yes, agreed. Get him some consistency. I feel like we should start Adou, but JJ1. I wouldn't go that far. I like him a lot. But again, he's young. We don't really have the sample size. If you want to start somebody like Adou, I think you start Vando, right? I think there's a genuine argument to start Jared Vanderbilt. Adou, again, rookie. He's going to have his good moments. He's going to have his bad moments. Yes, he hustles. He does the dirty work. He grits. But you also saw the youth and inexperience, right? Like there was a couple sequences where he was in front of guys, fell for the pump fake, or, just was out of position, right? Like I wouldn't go as far as to start him. I like him a lot. I think that kid, sky's the limit for that young man. I think he's somebody that could actually have an impact immediately. I think he's somebody that can have a role, but like you want your starters to be as consistent as possible. You want your starters to have the chemistry and things like that as possible. You don't want to, you want to be able to rely on your starters to the best of your ability. Right. Obviously, again, you look at guys like Jake LaRavia, he can be a little inconsistent, but he's consistent in other areas, right? He's consistent in the rebounding and the defense and things like that. And, again, I like Adou a ton. Starting him, I wouldn't go that far yet. Maybe 10 games from now, maybe we're having a different conversation. But right now, I just think, again, he's a young rookie. Let him kind of work his way in, play him, keep him in the rotation, stuff like that. But it's all right. Keep your head up. Lakers, they'll bounce back on the bright side. The young guys look pretty good. Glad I was able to give them a few words of wisdom before my ultimate departure. Appreciate you, Gabe. I'll call it back. You said Kobe Buffkin was really good. Well, first off, I said he was killing it in the G League. I said, again, we don't have an NBA sample size. So again, if you're going to quote me correctly. And secondly, again, played one game, right? Like, I get your trolling, right? I mean, you even have a troll name and profile picture and stuff like that. But like, if you're going to troll, at least like, put some effort into it. Who we got next? We got Dallas. Adou is our 3 and D. Well, we need to see a couple more. We need to see a couple 3-point, or not a couple 3-point shots. Period. Let's see. Well, Thibault isn't even waived yet. Again, comments with ignorance. Thibault isn't waived yet. Lonzo's knees are completely shot. Haywood Highsmith hasn't played this year. So yeah, I mean, best ability is availability. Again, if you're gonna troll, make sure you know what you're talking about. Kobe didn't live up to his name. I mean, again, it's one game, right? Like he's a 22. Kobe at 22 wasn't Kobe at 22. Right? Like, yeah, like, again, things take time. Guys take time to marinate. Tyler, you're telling me Bronny doesn't deserve more playing time? Who's used the last roster spot on Buffkin? I mean, I never said Bronny doesn't deserve more playing time. I've been a huge Bronny advocate. I'm just saying for him to be a real like key rotation player, he's a year or two away. Like I said, if you want to play him Here, Marcus Smart gets the night off, some of that, play him. I've been preaching all season to play him. I've been preaching all year to play him. And again, for Kobe Buffkin, it's one game without our stars, without our starters. He's 22 years old. Again, we can't go like this is a problem with us Laker fans, right? We are always screaming we need to get younger, more athletic, get guys that we can properly grow and develop. We need to get guys that can, be part of this future and da-da-da. And look at all these teams, look at, Memphis, all these teams, like Scottie Pippen Jr. Like, dude, well, why was Scottie Pippen Jr. able to evolve into the player he was? Because he got to play. And he got that. And you heard about the good games because those are the ones that get advertised. You didn't hear about the games where Scottie Pippen Jr. had 8 turnovers, went 2 of 12 from the floor, where he was awful and unplayably bad, right? You only heard about the good games, unless you're actually watching Memphis games. Right? He had that year where he just got to go out there and play. So again, when you have young guys, they're not going to be the best player on the court every night. You need to have time to grow and develop, right? Like, a big problem that we have as a fan base is our lack of patience, but then we preach that we need to have patience on, so it's like, oh, why don't we have any young guys? Adou Thiero has a bad game and everyone's going to go, Adou Thiero's trash, get him off our roster. It's like, again, he's 21. Kobe Buffkin's 22. He's a 22-year-old kid that was balling out in the G League. The G League and the NBA are very different things. He could become a star at some point. He's 22 years old. He could be a bum out of the league. But, we can't judge one game where he played without the starters against the second best or third best team in basketball this year, right? Who's young, athletic, and one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Like, again, got to give guys time, because then what happens? Again, Kobe Buffkin goes to a bad team like Washington. He ends up getting proper development. He balls out. And what are you and everyone else saying? They're all going, Lakers, again, what are you doing? You had Kobe Buffkin. He was on the roster. What are we doing? Hey, you really chose Haywood Highsmith over Kobe Buffkin, huh? Wow, look at what he's doing, right? Again, like I said, it's a catch-22, right? Kobe Buffkin, we got to stop the pendulum swing, like I talk about all the time. Young guys are going to have bad games. Young guys are going to have great games, right? Like, you can't judge a player off of a first game. You don't think he has jitters. You don't think he's nervous. You don't think he's, like, anxious. You don't think, like I said, he was trying to do too much. But he did a lot of great things in a lot of great areas. Got to be patient. This was a G League game. I mean, for us, not for the Spurs. I mean, the Spurs played all their guys. Should the rest of the night against OKC, I think they had a better chance against the Spurs. I mean, the OKC game was very winnable, very winnable. It's just, I mean, yeah, maybe they had a better chance against the Spurs, but Lakers are super bad right now. Again, I can't really judge a team off of, not having 4 of your 5 starters. Or no, they didn't have any of their starters. Well, Jake LaRavia, I guess 4 out of your 5 stars. I guess Jake LaRavia is probably not starting. So, let's see. Kobe Buffkin has no NBA future. What a waste of a roster spot. Rob is classic. Really? So you're basing that off of one game where, because what? Like, I don't understand it. If we judged every player off of their first, Kobe Bryant was a bench player, airballing shots, like couldn't even hit the rim. And again, I'm not saying this Kobe is going to become that Kobe, but I'm old enough to remember when people thought this Kobe was trash. I'm old enough to remember Laker fans, because I'm old enough to where I remember when Laker fans thought Kobe, like, what are we doing? This is why you don't draft some 18-year-old kid and blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm not saying Kobe Buffkin's going to be Kobe Bryant, but again, we cannot, like, you got to give young guys chances, right? Because again, what are we always screaming? We don't have youth and athleticism. And look at the Spurs, they're homegrown. Spurs haven't made the playoffs in 7 years. Like, again, but young guys need time. Usually it takes years. Not every player is Luka Doncic their first year. Not every player is Anthony Edwards their first year. Not every player is, a superstar their first year. Guys take time. Look at OKC. Took years for those guys to develop, right? To become a championship team. Spurs took years to develop. Hornets have been the laughingstock of the league for the last 7 years. And now all of a sudden are like, man, they might be terrifying next season, right? Like, young guys take time. Like, we got to be patient with the young guys as a fan base. I get it. It's frustrating when you're watching a young guy just stink up the joint. But again, if he was 32, I'd be with you. The guy is trash, get him off the team. But at 22, in his first game, right? Like, again, can we give the kid some time, right? Like, can we give the kid a chance? I think this team, Lakers, need a lot of help. I mean, again, it can't really, hard to judge when you don't have 4 of your 5 starters. Can't judge Buffkin when you don't have these starters. Let's see how he plays bad once he gets to play alongside the guys that have actual gravity. Again, yes. And again, he's going to be playing a very different role. You're not going to be asking him to be a superstar. Right? Like, again, you got to give kids time, Like, look, we're all praising Bronny right now, right? Bronny wasn't doing this last year. He's made significant growth. Max Christie, right? Again, old enough, have the channel, right? I actually had the channel for that journey. I'm old enough to remember when people wanted Max Christie off the team because they thought he was cheeks, right? When he did get playing time, which was not super consistent, but when he did get playing time, I'm old enough to remember being in this chat and people being like, Max Christie's trash, get him off the team, right? You need to trade Max Christie, get off of Max Christie. Now, every single one of us would be screaming and praying to get Max Christie back. We would all give up. We'd give up our 3 first to give Max Christie back. But that took time. It took him years to get to where he needed to go, right? Again, be patient with guys. Yeah, Bronny was cooking. Def his best game in a while. He outplayed Buffkin and Nick Smith Jr. Again, he's developing, right? That's what happens, right? You get young guys, they develop, they grow, they do things. Lakers, I mean, I guess technically this is a game where he was in the rotation, so now they're 4-2, but Lakers are 4-1 early in the season when Bronny was in the rotation. How much money do we have this offseason as of right now? I mean, it depends, but anywhere from like basically $48.5 million to $60 million. We don't know exactly because we don't know exactly how much the cap is going to spike. It's just projections right now, but it's projected Lakers could have at most around 60 million, at worst around 48 million. So probably have somewhere in like that 50 to 55 million range. Should have rested the starters last night against OKC. They had a better chance against Spurs. Plus, should have signed Cam Thomas over Buffkin. I mean, look, it's very likely Cam Thomas chose the Bucks over the Lakers, which if I'm Cam Thomas, I would have too. Right. And it's not like obviously Lakers spotlight and all that stuff, but like he'll get more playing time. He'll get more of a role, right? Like he'll get more opportunity on the Bucks than he would the Lakers. It's easy to go like, hey, we should have signed this guy over that guy, but that guy has to want to come too. If he wants to prove that he's a star guard, right? If he goes to the Lakers and balls out as a sixth man, guess what? He didn't just prove what he wanted to prove, right? All he did was basically confirm what everyone thinks. So if I'm him, I would probably want to go to the Bucks or another team too. Bronny is only 21, youngest on the team. Imagine him in 2 or 3 years. Exactly. I've been screaming this. You know how much like shit I've gotten this year for like defending Bronny and talking about how good I think Bronny is and could potentially be, right? Like, I'm glad he had a great game tonight. Braun and AR tucking smoke. I don't know about that, but Luke Kennard was the best player on the court. Yeah, Luke Kennard's very good, man. Very good. I wanted Kobe Buffkin shoot the ball every time he got the ball. There is something about a kid that I love. Look, I think he has, again, he showed some good, he showed some bad. It's his first game. I'm not going to judge a kid off of his first game. Right? I'm not going to judge somebody off of their very first game, right? Like, again, not everybody's LeBron year one, right? Like game one. Not everyone's going to be. Things take time. Things take time. Shouldn't have signed Kobe Buffkin. Again, why? It's the 15th roster spot. Lakers could still bring another guy. I wish Mignon and Thiero played early on. We still would have lost, but maybe wouldn't have been that bad. Yeah, I would have liked to see them kind of, like I said, as soon as you went down like 22 or whatever, and it was like, it wasn't like, okay, we're just playing bad right now, and it was just like, yeah, we're not going to be able to be competitive. I would have sat everybody. That's what I would have done. Kobe had a bad game, but everyone did. And when the team around you is playing good, that helps you play better. So I think we should all, guys, back Buffkin should still be in the rotation. Yeah. I mean, again, he was brought in to be an in a rotation guy and a development guy. No one's expecting him to, again, be the savior of the Lakers. You got to understand, like, he's a young player that we brought in that's trying to grow and develop. And JJ needs to give Thiero minutes so he can develop more. Other teams coaches does that to their rookies. I mean, a lot of coaches don't. Right? I mean, look at like Steve Kerr and guys like that. But yes, I do think that they should. I swear we're the only team that doesn't play the rookie. Well, Thiero's been injured most of the year, so again, if he started getting healthy, and then Lakers played him 2 games, and he had that one game where he was really good, and then JJ rewarded him by being the first sub off the bench, and then he got hurt again. So, folks are talking about Luka like he is 21. He is approaching 30. Lakers wasted 2 years of his prime just to prove a point to LeBron. Front office needs. I mean, he's only been on the roster a year. Last year we traded him at the deadline, right? Yeah, you didn't do the Mark Williams trade, but Lakers, even with the Mark Williams trade, Lakers probably still don't win next year. That's not like a waste. Lakers gave up everything to get Luka, right? So I wouldn't really count that season as a waste. This year, yeah, sure, you could argue this season is a waste. I'm not saying they will be, but I wouldn't be shocked that the Lakers are pretty good come playoff time. Let's see. Did you say Bronny did or didn't look bad? You're trying to say didn't look bad, or are you saying Bronny did look bad? Because, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you said did, I mean, that's just, again, you got to let your LeBron hate go, my guy. Honestly, we should develop Adou, even though his fault. Let him keep growing. He could change a lot for us. Yeah, I mean, again, you gotta develop young guys. Bronny James, Adou Thiero, Kobe Buffkin, Chris Manning, like all of these guys have potential. All these guys could be players and pieces and rotation guys at some point. Maybe they won't, right? That's part of the youth experiment, right? Like some guys work out, some guys don't. But we can't just, again, we're always, as a fan base, we're always talking about how we need to get younger. We need athleticism. We need defense. We need all these guys. I mean, again, OKC didn't become OKC overnight. They were cheeks. They were missing the playoffs. They weren't a play-in team for several years. It's not like they got SGA and immediately became the best team in basketball. It took years, right? Like it's a process. Developing young guys is a process. I do too. I've actually talked about, I made a video about this a long time ago. It might've been in the offseason. I made a video about him shooting more threes. He was shooting threes with New Orleans, not a ton, but he showed the ability to shoot threes in New Orleans. Shout out to Bronny. LeBron should leave to Cleveland with Bronny. Imagine the love. I have said, and I still stand by, I think even if LeBron leaves, Lakers should keep Bronny. He's the exact kind of guard you need next to Luka and Austin Reeves. Athletic, point of attack, versatile. Be that 3-and-D guard. Bronny is what we want, or what we wanted Gabe Vincent to be, but just more athletic, right? Like better passer. The way Wemby looked tonight, We still would have lost even if our starters played. There's no answer. I mean, he's one of the 5 best players in the world this year at worst. I know there's a different sport, but I can't believe the NFL season is already over. I have to wait 6 months until I get to see my Ravens play again. Yeah, the NFL season went quick. Again, the older guys get, the quicker things play out. I was really hoping the South Bay Lakers could keep this one competitive just so we could see Wemby go for 60. Yeah, I know. Right. Dude, Wemby might have went for 80 if it was competitive. I thought Wemby was going to score 70 or more, something in that range. I mean, like Austin said, if it was closer game, he might have. He really might have. Once LeBron leaves, I'll be done watching the Lakers. Not a fan of the team at all. They is a bad. Again, it's hard when you don't have your players. Timmy and Dalton look good too. Timmy did. Dalton still, defensively, he's still terrible. He gave up like so many back doors. I was like, dude, Dalton, please. And I want him to be good so bad. I really do. I want him to turn it around, but he's atrocious defensively, terrible. Statistically speaking, he's our worst defensive player, and he plays like it. He is awful defensively, and he still hasn't found his 3-point shot, which is the problem. The GOAT to the Cavs next year. He probably will. I mean, if I was him, I would have pushed to get traded this year, personally. They also didn't allow us to be physical, Wemby anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong. I'm sorry I fell asleep at halftime and woke up with 5 minutes left in the game. I don't blame you at all. This wasn't a game that, if I didn't have to do a live stream, I probably would have just went to sleep myself. Let's see. Searching to find something to me. Lakers gonna be cooked in the playoffs. Feel bad for their fans. I don't know. Again, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. They're really good in a lot of areas that are good for the playoffs. There's only 2 teams I really worry about, and that's the Thunder and the Nuggets. Outside of that, even the Spurs team, come playoff time, every year you get a team like this. You had OKC a couple seasons ago where they lost in was the first, second round. The Sacramento Kings, the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Playoffs and regular season are very different games, very different sport. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Let's see what else. Sorry, trying to get through the random troll looking for attention. Glad I could catch stream while I'm at work. What did you think of Bronny's performance tonight? First off, I appreciate you. Secondly, I thought he was great, right? Again, he showed, would I have liked him to be a little more aggressive? Sure, but that's not necessarily what we need from him, right? Again, I talked about with these young guys, I wanted to see them play the game and role that you would have them play in it, right? For example, Mignon and Thiero, I thought played the role that you want to see them play with our main guys, right? When everyone's healthy, right? Just being the scrappers, the defense, all that stuff. Bronny, I thought, played that role, right? He hit some shots, he got to his spots, he was selective in his aggression, which is great. Obviously, a game like this where you don't have your main guys, sure, I would have liked him to be a little more aggressive. But what he did tonight is exactly what we need from him, right? If he can do tonight on a regular basis, then he should be in the rotation. So again, things can take time. Let's see. Wemby, I feel, holds back, and that's scary. He should be the best player in the league by far with the skill set is crazy. Yeah, I mean, he'll kind of get into these passive modes almost, Um, Tyler, do you still think we get to 53 and 29? I don't think it's possible. I see 47 and 35 at best. This team is not far from an epic collapse. I know Luka didn't play, but Spurs are a bad matchup. I think we can beat the Spurs, but um, I don't know about 53 games because we've lost. We had that really bad stretch earlier, but I still think they would get to 50 games. I really do. Like Lakers always like to make the second half push. They do it every year. LeBron says it every year. We're going to take every game like a playoff game. And every year the Lakers make even last year, Lakers made a second half push. So I think the Lakers will kind of buckle down, make that second half push. We've lost a handful of games this year just because we've been overly cautious with guys, right? Like it's cost us a couple games. I still think the Lakers get to around 50 wins. 53 might be a little tough because I expected them to have a little better record right now. You're talking about them basically only losing, 9 games the rest of the way. That I don't think so, but I could see them, winning 50 games. So, they'll probably lose another 12, somewhere in that range. But we don't want him having the record against us. Do it to somebody else here. Seriously. Why is our team so trash? Bronny is our only good youth. I mean, Adou Thiero was pretty good. Chris Minnon's been pretty good. Again, youthful guys take time. You got to remember, Bronny's had a whole year under his belt as an NBA player, right? Like he's gotten minutes and opportunity and stuff even early on, right? Like and it's been in spots. He hasn't even really gotten consistent minutes. Youth guys take time, and everyone develops at their own rate. You have guys that, again, Caruso was a journeyman in and out of the G League for years before he found his home with the Lakers. And now look at him. I mean, he was a late bloomer. He didn't really become what he became till he was 25, whatever. The first couple years in the league. I mean, there have been guys that have came in the league at 27 that, became something, right? There's guys, I mean, Haywood Highsmith, right? He was wasn't he 25 or something like that when he came in the league? He's only been in the league, I think, like 5 years, something like that, 4 years. There's, again, guys take time. Guys, everyone develops at their own rate. Some guys don't work out, right? Like Adou Thiero, he looks like an absolute stud and could become something. In 3 years, we might look at it and go man, that was a real miss, right? Again, you're talking about young guys, especially young guys that aren't top picks and stuff like that. And even those guys, how many busts have teams gotten over the years? I'm happy we signed Kobe over Cam because I love Kobe and he is going to be solid and passes the damn ball, something that he can't do. Yeah, again, I don't mind the Kobe Buffkin signing. Baker's still bringing another veteran guy. Let's see. Do a couple more questions and I'm going to skate on out of here. Spurs, they play the right way. Everybody touches the ball, pause. Yeah. That's kind of their MO. Moving and sharing the basketball. We don't have anybody to guard Wemby, and Spurs are Lakers' biggest weakness. A young athletic team, and even Trevor Lane agreed it was not a good move to make only one move. I just want Thibault now. And that's if Thibault even gets out. Again, playoffs are regular. Everyone said the same thing about the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs. Remember, Lakers were supposed to lose in 4 or 5, and the Lakers ran through Memphis. Regular season and playoffs are very different games. Very different games. The transition, the pace, all of that, that stuff isn't – game slows down. It becomes more of a half-court set. Game gets more physical. Experience plays a big role, right? Spurs, if you actually watch Spurs game, I watch a lot of Spurs games because of the channel, right? They are – very concerning in a lot of areas, right? They love to blow leads. They love to give up big quarters. They're them in the clutch is not super great at times, right? Again, look, I'm not saying the Lakers would run through it. Could the Spurs beat us? Sure, right? It's not, like I said, it's not something I'd bet on, but I wouldn't be don't be shocked if the Lakers end up like beating several of these teams. Um, my favorite channel, considering I had the Laker channel for years before that, I would say otherwise, but um, I think I was going to give up sports to time consuming. Even the wins don't feel like the same. I'll still stay with your channel because I love it so much. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm happy where I'm at and I need to improve. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you nonetheless. I mean, look, sometimes we got to take a step back, right? Sometimes we need that. Sorry, trying to find something to me. I think it's time I give up. Oh, I already got that. Yeah. Haywood, are we serious? Another Heat player? Again, I've said the same. You're talking about another Heat player, right? You're talking about a guy that hasn't played this year, right? Even JJ said, um, even JJ said that, about the health concerns, right? I see potential in Mannion. Yeah, I do too. I think he, at least the defensive side of things. I'd like Adou to play 10 to 15 minutes a game to ramp back up and find a rhythm. Yeah, like I said, if he'd be in that 10 to 12 range would be nice. Max Christie was literally that on the Lakers. One game he'd drop like 20 points, and then the next game he'd score like 9 or 10 points. If we're judging players from one game, Cam Thomas was trashed then, and some of y'all are twerking for him. He scored 4 points last game. Yeah, there. Who was it? Ayo Dosunmu went 4 of 11 in his game. Right, like there's like several guys that we all were screaming for the Lakers to trade for that all like their first game was not great. And everyone would have been like, dude, those guys are trash, blah, 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 blah. I didn't say Buffkin was the next Caruso. I said Chris Mignon could be the next Caruso. I said he's playing like Caruso in the G League. So again, if you're gonna quote me correctly, please. Let's see. He's mixing. He's talking about, because I said Chris Mignon is playing like Alex Caruso, like prime Alex Caruso in the G League, because he's averaging like 5 to 7 stocks. He's mixing up the G League guys. Kobe Buffkin, I said, is killing it in the G League. I said he's playing like what I said is he's playing in the G League, again, G League. He's playing like prime Michael Jordan with like a Steph Curry jump shot, right? Like the guy had three straight games with 40 plus points. Game was 6 to 6 from 3-point range, and a game from 7 to 7 at 3-point range. He's talking about how I talked and compared about him in the G League, but he's completely ignoring that I repeatedly said the G League and the NBA are very different things. I even have stressed, you can see there are guys that have played better than Buffkin in the G League that couldn't even crack a rotation in the NBA. Again, he's taking a small little, 10, he's trolling is what he's doing, right? Don't pay him no mind. He's just looking for attention. He's desperate. He's at home. Nothing better going on. He's like, ooh, I have an opportunity to just troll. Like, I don't get it. He's not even trolling good. Like, again, if you're going to troll, at least take some pride in your troll. At least like make sense. Like, don't just like lie, right? Like when it's all on tape, right? Like literally anybody could just go and watch what I said. The Lakers should throw money at Lou Dort in the offseason if the Thunder let him go. They're gonna have to let go of either Dort or Hartenstein, right? They're gonna have to let go of one of those two. I either or I think the Lakers should get, honestly. It just obviously depends on how much would it cost. Let's see. Um, I didn't see good defense from Buffkin either. When you watch basketball, try to watch it with your eyes open next time. Uh, hey Tyler, what are you drinking? Just some like summer berry water, like Waterloo. I don't know. It's like the Costco um sparkling water. It's actually pretty good. Um, yeah, he literally was kid. Like, yeah, was it an exaggeration? Sure, but most people have common sense and can deduce that. Clearly, this guy struggles with comprehension and over exaggerate a player, but he literally was. The guy is averaging 28 points per game. What a 3 stocks, right? 6 assists. Um, you think Flag ends up being one of the uh greats or too early to tell? I mean, he's on trajectory to be an all-timer. He looks like it at times. It is really hard to get there. There have been a lot of guys that are very good. Like there's a lot of guys that have been phenomenal, early in their careers. I mean, you look at like even like a Gordon Hayward, right? Was a 25, 5-5 guy, like at his peak, right? Like, and that he's not even looked at as he's looked at as a role guy, right? Like, or a fringe, like all-star level guy. I mean, it depends on one of the greats. Like if you're talking about like one of the 50 to 100 best players ever, sure. Like I think you could get there. If you're talking about could he be like top 10 to 15 all time, that is tough. That is real tough, right? I never want to put a cap on a young man, right? Because you never know, right? You never know. Like I talked about with Kobe Bryant, right? When he was a rookie and coming to the league. I mean, if you judged which Laker fans did, get him old enough to remember, but if you would have based him on his first like 2 years, you would have thought, dude, that guy's going to be out of the league in no time. And look, he became one of the top 10 players of all time. To be fair, Lakers gave away many picks for nothing, and now the cupboard is bare, which is why you have to find these young guys. You got to get these dudes, right? Tyler, you see that? 55 million pre-sale. Yeah, I did see that. I did. Let's see. This dude's just making stuff up. Stop paying attention to him. Let's see. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, where's the Kobe buff? Again, he's making it. He's making stuff up. He's just trolling. Like, this team is horrible. Fire Rob for not making this team better. They're not gonna fire him anytime soon. Trust me. I'm still waiting on Kyrie. Tyler said it was only a matter of it, but it did. Like Sean Marks was trading Kyrie to the Lakers, and Joe Tsai vetoed it. So I wasn't wrong about that. I was right about that. Sean Marks was going to trade Kyrie to Lakers, but Joe Tsai, who's the owner of the Nets, said, I'll send him anywhere but the place that he wants to go to. And he basically said, we're not trading him to Lakers. And then Dallas came in and was able to get him for half the cost. So no, I will not let you use that one against me. Look, now the Kendrick Nunn one, you're right. That one, I give that to you. That one you can have. You cannot have the Kyrie one, Blecka. Will not allow it because he was a Laker. He was going to the Lakers. Darn it. But I know Adou is coming back from injury, but he should at least get 10 minutes a game. Not playing him at all is slowing his progress. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Lakers I imagine, are going to continue to be overly cautious, but it'll. I want him to get some level of consistency. Most likely, Lou Dort is the one that they're going to let go because they already have Caruso. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, look, it is possible that they let both go because they do have guys like, you know, oh, is it Aaron Wiggins and stuff like that have really kind of Isaiah Joe and stuff like that that are just cheaper. So they might kind of go that route, especially Isaiah Joe's been really good this year for them. They're definitely a team I'd keep an eye on. Lou Dort and Isaiah Hartenstein are the exact players we need. Exact players. Who would you have picked up if you were a GM? If like I said, if Matisse Thybulle gets bought out, he would be my number one guy. I know there's a lot of risk with him health wise, but if he can be healthy, I mean, he's the only guy that you look at and goes, that guy could be our starter. So Matisse Thybulle, if he got bought out, I don't hate the idea of Haywood Highsmith. But again, there's injury concerns, right? Like, so you'd have to test them and whatnot, right? Like, if I could have, I would have went and got Matisse Thybulle and Haywood Highsmith. But I don't hate the idea of Brendan and Kobe Buffkin, right? He was that good in the G. Again, like he was killing it in the G League. The guy was, again, they showed the stats to start the game, right? He's averaging like Luka numbers in the G League. The guy he's clearly better than the G League, right? But like I've always maintained, will that translate to the NBA, right? Like he checks off everything that you want. He's young, athletic, versatile, two-way guy. He's playing defense in the G League and knocking down shots. If he can do that, you know, I know people already think he's washed and needs to be out of the league after one game, but again, he's 22-year-old kid. Like if we drafted him this year, we'd all be talking about how he's great. Do you think Luka is better than Shea? Be honest. He is when Luka is playing to peak Luka. Shea has over this year, Shea's been better overall. Shea's just been more efficient. He's been better defensively. But Luka, when he's not, like Luka's been better the last like 10 games or so. Luka, his shot selection early in the season, we talked about it very heavily on this stream. Luka earlier in the season, or a good majority of the season, was almost just like shot chucking, right? Like his shot selection was terrible. Shea is very consistent at like getting to his spots, finding his thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I like this year, I would put Shea over Luka overall, like so far by the body of work. But I think Luka, when he wants to be, is better than Shea, right? I think like all things even, Shea's playing the best version of himself. Luka's playing the best version of himself. I think Luka's better than Shea. But I think this year in particular, Shea has been better than Luka. Kyrie would be perfect for the Lakers. Plus, he loves Kobe. Yeah. Problem is the injuries, right? He wouldn't be playing all year. Shea clears Luka. It's not even close right now. This year, yes, I think I wouldn't say it's not even close, but he's been better. And it's funny how you stopped trolling. Couldn't find the clips, huh? couldn't find where I said the stuff that you're just making up. Stop with the excuses. This team is terrible. We are not winning a championship with the terrible bench. That is Rob's fault. I don't know excuses you're referring to, but what hurt Lakers most? Skipping Buddy, Miles losing out on Kyrie, or losing on Chris Paul way back. That's tough. Kyrie would have given us the most upside. Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis healthy, I would have been shocked had they not won a championship, right? So I would say Kyrie. Chris Paul and Kobe, as much as that would have been amazing to see, there were genuine questions, like could those two really play together, right? And you wouldn't need more than just those two to win a championship, right? So, you know, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, I personally believe the Lakers would have won the championship that year. But obviously, again, like Kyrie, like if I had to rank it in order, like as like what do I think? Because you're saying like what hurt the Lakers the most? Kyrie, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, Chris Paul. Just because I think Kyrie not guarantees a championship because obviously nothing's guaranteed, but like it would have been like for them not to win one would have been pretty surprising. Um, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, I think they would that year would have won the championship or at least had a much better chance. But Denver was still really good that year. So, and then Chris Paul and Kobe, that's one of those things where like so many other things would have had to happen, right? Do you think the Shea Kobe comparisons are crazy? Not crazy, but I don't think like I don't think it's I don't think it's comparable, right? Like I get to an extent the mid range and just the craftiness on the interior. You know, they're two very different play styles, though, right? Like he's just it's like I think like a Shea like what Rose could have been had he not got hurt, right? Like I think there's like you know the Kobe comparison comes from just Shea's ability to just get to his spots and just be so crafty in the mid range, right? Like that's where it stems from. But Kobe was like clamps defensive. Like there's so many things that it's just I don't like it personally, but like I get why people make the comparison. I just don't think it's a good comparison personally. I'm all for giving Bronny a chance, but there's no way he should be getting minutes over Mignon. It's not a coincidence. We started playing better with him in the game. I mean, Bronny was in the game, but I mean, the problem is we don't have enough sample size to know what Mignon can do, right? Like Mignon, like he's somebody that ideally makes perfect sense with our main guys, but it's still like again, we just don't have the sample size to properly judge it. I mean, he plays like Kobe. It's just Kobe way better at everything. It's more like Shea's better downhill. Like they're just again they're crafty in the mid range, which is why everyone goes like, oh, it's the Kobe comparison. Tyler, I love all your videos. Sometimes I'm the first one to watch. I appreciate you, dude. Like I say it all the time. I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful. People even want to watch my videos or wait for my videos or things like that. It's crazy that I'm in a position where people actually want to, listen to me and conversate. So I'm very thankful. I appreciate you. Dig Streams. Where do you rank Shea all time if he goes back to back Finals MVP and back to MVPs? I mean, you're talking. I mean, if he goes back to back MVPs, Finals MVPs, and Finals, I mean, I think you got to put him in the top 10, right? I mean, you're talking about a guy that, when I mean, who else has done that other than like Jordan, right? Like one, I mean, that's like rare company, right? Like rare company to win. I mean, now at that point, he'd be a two-time NBA champion, two-time MVP, two-time Finals MVP. I mean, I think you'd have to put him in the top 10. Like, yeah, I mean, minimum. That'd be tough. At that point, you put him over Jokic, you put him over Giannis, right? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, right? You go, Ron, Kobe, or sorry, Ron, Jordan, Kareem. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think you could even make an argument, maybe even bumping him top 7, like somewhere in that range. It's a really good question. I think minimum he has to be in the top 10 at that point, right? Like if we're using MVPs and finals championships and all that stuff, and he'd be the first one to go back to back since the KD Warriors. Like that's, I mean, that in and of itself is an accomplishment, right? I find it wild that Zion is staying healthy out of nowhere. Yeah. I mean, he worked really hard in his conditioning this offseason. So Bronny played okay, but I think Mignon is more NBA ready. As far as like the dirty work goes, yes. Again, it's hard to know just based on like I trust Bronny more in some areas than I trust Mignon. But Mignon, as far as like the the defensive side, like he's looking ridiculous. I am feeling for a full season of him bullying everyone, and I hope he gets at least one before he crashes out. I do too. I want to see him on like a good team, right? Like healthy for a season and just see what he could do. Shea plays more like Kawhi. I can see again in the mid range area. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. I appreciate you guys. I got to the end of the chat. Went like an hour and a half. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Seriously, everyone that stuck around, I really do appreciate you. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. Seriously, it helps me out a ton. On your way out, please hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. I'll see you guys after the Dallas game. See you guys soon. Peace.